Thank God it's not raining. Welcome to Brinsworth, as we pay tribute to Danny La Rue. And I'd like to get this thing moving along and introduce our annual president this year, Vicki Michelle.
Hello everyone. I'm delighted you've all come today to celebrate the life of a man who was a genius, one of our greatest entertainers. I had the privilege of working with him on several occasions, and he was truly just the most wonderful, larger-than-life character. I was totally in awe of him when I first met him, but I had the privilege of doing a summer season with him at Blackpool, where I got to know him really well. And his generosity knew no bounds. It was champagne for my friends. And the only thing, I think if there was something that Danny had wrong with him, he was too trusting. And he trusted a lot of people that let him down. But most of his friends, his true friends, are here today. And a very, very special friend, Annie, who was with him to the end.
Annie, yeah. Is the lady that saved his life.
I mean, I've known Annie for, I don't know, a little while. And Danny was great with my family and everything. And if there's one thing that sticks in my mind with Danny, he used to take his dog Jonty with him everywhere. He was a bit smelly, wasn't he, Annie? No, he was lovely Jonty. And I remember saying to Danny one time, I said, Danny, I said, look, I've got my little dog, but I know that a lot of the theatres don't let the dogs in. How come you know, bring Jonty in? And he went, darling, I tell them, no dog, no Danny. And now I'd like to hand over to a wonderful man, agent to the stars, the gorgeous Johnny Mann.
Oh. He's paid good money for it.
Actually, Danny was very generous, and after each show he always used to say, come to the green room or the second dressing room, and everybody had a glass of champagne, or more than a glass of champagne. And talking about Jonty, it's funny, on one of the tours I did with Danny, we had a quite big minibus, and we used to travel him around on that, but unfortunately Jonty used to pee on all the seats. So we had to change it on a bigger coach. He did, he certainly did. But he was a wonderful guy, and I did many summer seasons with him, or for him, lots and lots of tours, and he was really Britain's foremost female impersonator and one of the greatest theatricals we could ever wish to have.
Very kind. You want to introduce, right?
Well, yes. And now, bated breath.
No.
You probably saw him last night on telly. The one, the only, Mr. Ronnie Corbett.
I haven't worked things out quite as well as you did, Vicki. All your words were lovely. Most of us here grew up with Danny, at Danny's feet. I missed out on that a bit. We were in the loveliest venues in the West End, Winston's, Churchill's, eventually in Danny La Rue, saying the funniest words written by Brian Blackburn and Barry Cryer here, and we just had the most wonderful times. There were, I mean, the venues, as I say, were lovely. And the great thing about West End Cabaret in those days was you could do the show late at night and do a play in the West End or even do a television series. So there are lots of bonuses.
I was leading lady with the crazy gang.
Yes. I thought you would take over eventually. Barracking wife. And the club, yes. Now
6:15, 8:45 and 1:30 in the morning.
Very good. Anything else before I go? There was only one casting risk you took with Danny that we remember very vividly when they did a finale. So we're going to do a lovely finale London Heathrow Airport, he said. I am going to be Jackie Kennedy, and you're going to be an air-sick passenger. And that air-sick passenger, that was the joke, it wasn't it? That was we all laughed at it those days. Well, we're delighted to be here. What do I have to do?
Can I just say something?
Yes, certainly.
May I say something?
Yes, don't pull it.
No, don't put it yet. Oh, is that there?
Yeah.
Oh, stand back. No. What, Ronnie?
Stand back. Come forward about here.
Certainly, yes, I won't pull it till I...
No, it's just, I don't...
Is it several things?
No, but I was very, very lucky for I was at Italian College Stage School, then I went into my first summer season, and I got the job as comedian, and I had no material, I didn't know what I was supposed to be doing, but there was a most wonderful, big, round comic called Ted Gatty, and Ted Gatty gave me my words, did everything for me, and he gave Danny La Rue his name, because Danny, he rang Danny one day and said, I'm doing this little thing in the Irving, a little show. He said, darling, no more. I'm not doing any more shows. I'm going to go back to my window dressing, and I'm going to be Danny Carroll, and forget it. And he said, well, oh, Dan, you can't do that. Well, just do this for a month, it was, and I'll give you a new name, and nobody will know who, then you can go back to your... And when Dan came to the Irving Theatre, he looked at me and he said, who am I then? He said, you're Danny La Rue. And that's a true story. And there's one, I'm not going to go on from, I promise, Ron. There are only two people that Danny certainly deserved and were the best thing that ever happened to him. One was Jack Hansen, manager, partner, and when Jack died, that's when things started to go wrong. And the other person is this Annie. She saved Annie, I tell you, gave her life to him, her home to him, everything, everything. And he loved you so much, and you loved him, and he was very lucky to find you.
Yes. Right? Is that it?
Fall on your head.
Oh, it might fall on my head. You don't mean the wall, do you?
He's talking about the plaque.
The plaque. Right, are we ready to...
Yep.
You ready to finish it? Here he is, dear Dan. Oh, right.
Wonderful bookends, Annie and Annie. And it was Tony Palmer.
Yeah,
Where's the gang? We should have had a gang, shouldn't we, from the club really today? There we are.
All our girls.
An abstract memory from Winston's in Clifford Street. The new Lloyd Webber Don Black musical is about Stephen Ward and Profumo and Christine Keeler. And with my very witty script, Danny played Christine Keeler. And I think I played Stephen Ward and Tony Blackman played John Profumo. Anyway, the point being that we did this witty show. What? You played Mandy Rice Pudding. Noel Coward, eat your heart out. And one night, I don't know if you remember, Tony, we heard there was a buzz, Christine Keeler and Mandy Rice Davis, as you know, and Lucky Gore. Those topical names. They were in.
Yeah, oh,
we had to do the show in front of them. And funny enough, they didn't come round afterwards and say hello. But we're all here today for Danny because he was always there for us.
Very right. Yeah.
And one little memory, Ron knows this, after the show, typical host, Danny, the champagne was out, he was entertaining some people and we were sitting there. And this woman was overcome meeting Dan and she was gushing all over him. She said, oh, Danny, do you like dressing up as a lady? He said, no, dear, do you? It's a joy to be here today. Cheers, Dan. Cheers.
Can I just finally just say thank you to Brinsworth for all their support and help today.
Yes,
Yeah.
thanks.